Good evening and welcome to tonight's regional news. We start off with a story from Trinidad and Tobago. Tobago police have made some headway into solving the mystery surrounding the discovery of 14 human bodies and other human remains found on a fishing boat drifting 4 miles off Belgarden last week. Fishermen in the area observed the boat drifting towards land Friday morning and upon closer investigation observed human remains on board. Senior police officials hosted a news conference on Tuesday where the head of Tobago Police ACP William Nurse revealed that the origin of the vessel was traced to a country in northwest Africa called the Islamic Republic of Mauritania. A cell phone found on the vessel also provided the missing link for the cybercrime unit, which revealed that the cell phone was registered in Mauritania. Forensic pathologist Dr. Eastlyn MacDonald Burris began the autopsies on Tuesday. However, due to the advanced state of decomposition of the remains, authorities may have to depend on a toxicology report or other methods to ascertain the identities of the persons found on the boat. In Brazil, a Brazilian town has seen a 95% drop in COVID-19 deaths after almost all adults were vaccinated as part of an experiment, researchers say. In the town of 45,000 inhabitants, the cases plunged after a mass vaccination with the Chinese-developed CoronaVac. The team said those who had not been vaccinated were also protected by the reduction in the virus's circulation. Brazil has been hard hit by the pandemic with nearly 463,000 deaths. The country is struggling with a slow vaccination campaign due to insufficient jabs, while the average of daily deaths and cases remains high amid a lack of coordinated measures to curb infections. Turning to Colombia. Colombia will keep its borders with Venezuela shut until September 1, scrapping earlier plans to reopen on June 1, the nation's foreign ministry has said in a decree. According to the document dated May 31, humanitarian situations, the transport of cargo and merchandise, as well as the departure of foreign nationals will be exempt from the closure. Late on Monday, the Colombian Defense Ministry said Venezuela released 8 soldiers who were captured in combat with Colombian armed groups in the border state of Apure. The troops were taken in May amid fighting along the Colombian border that has killed at least a dozen soldiers since March and spurred thousands of civilians to flee to Colombia. Internationally, in Canada, a mass grave containing the remains of 215 children has been found in Canada at a former residential school set up to assimilate Indigenous people. The children were students at the Kamloops Indian Residential School in British Columbia that closed in 1978. The discovery was announced on Thursday. Prime Minister Justin Trudeau said it was a quote, painful reminder of a shameful chapter of our country's history, end of quote. The First Nation is working with the museum specialists and the coroner's office to establish the causes and timings of the deaths, which are not currently known. And finally, in Sri Lanka, a stricken container ship that caught fire 13 days ago off the Sri Lankan coast, unleashing one of the worst ecological disasters in the country's history, is now sinking, officials said. Since May 20, the Sri Lankan Navy and Indian Coast Guard have been working round the clock to try to stop that from happening, as the blaze engulfed the container ship, which was laden with chemicals such as nitric acid and carrying 350 metric tons of oil in its tank. Sri Lanka's Marine Environment Protection Authority, MEPA, has warned that the Singaporean registered ship called the MV Express Pearl could create an oil spill emergency. Authorities fear a bigger disaster if the oil leaks into the ocean and nearby lagoons before the vessel can be towed away. That was all for tonight's regional news. Thank you for joining.